Hello, and welcome to the Fast Forward Amy show, the show where we talk about how you can lift your life and business with simple strategies. I'm Fast Forward Amy, your host and coach, and I'll bring you a new episode every Tuesday. Today we're talking about, what are we talking about? Yes, success principles. I've created an episode about this before and I thought it was a really basic episode, but everyone loved it. So I'm going to create another really basic episode for you, namely my fast forward success principles. Talking about that, by the way, I created a business Bible which has all of my success principles, and you can go and grab that through the link in bio where you can also find the article and everything, or you can just go to fastforwardamy.com/business Bible. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to list up a bunch of principles that I think you should really know when you are working on your career or working on your business, because they will skyrocket your success. The first one is maybe a little bit controversial, but the first one is actually, I want to tell you, you are not your business. I've been in the position where I have been working very hard on my business, where I almost crashed because I was working so hard. Definitely the past year, I worked harder than ever before, I think. But it's really important to remember that you are not your business. I love my work, and I'm sure that you love your work too, no matter if you are working for someone else, you are building your own business. You can have that passion and that ambition, but remember that your revenue, your likes, the amount of hours you work, that does not define you. I think for me, the moments I realize that most is when I'm, for example, just sitting on the couch and hanging out with the kids, because I am a plus mom. When they're like cuddling up to me, those are the moments when I realize, like, yeah, this is what life is all about. Or when I'm sitting around with my family and friends, we're drinking a glass of wine, no surprise there. Those are the moments when I realize this is what life is all about. And in terms of self-worth, it is just so important to remember that, sure, making money is nice. Sure, making money is also important and you need it. But your success business-wise does not determine your worth as an individual, because you are not your business. And I want you to remember that. The second business principle I want to talk about today is documenting your process. So there's a few angles to look at this, but Gary Vee says document, don't create. And Gary Vee talks about how for your marketing, for example, you can bring in what you do on a daily basis, what you are doing behind the scenes into your marketing, what you're going through in the moment, and talk about that. So for me, that could be when I'm coaching, record a piece of that coaching and actually put that online as my marketing. It means documenting what you're going through right now instead of always coming up with new content, just documenting the things you're doing. In terms of your business, like aside from the marketing part, it's really important to remember that you might think that those tasks you do on a weekly basis, that you know by heart what they are and that it doesn't cost you any time and you don't need to write a list of them. But I swear to God, if you can just document your processes, it will change your life. So what do I mean by that? For example, when we have a podcast recording day, we have a process. In full honesty, we're creating that process. And we have a list of like, okay, so when we're setting up a shooting day, what do we need? What are the chronological steps? What are all the things we need to do? Who do we need to call? What do we need to make sure that we check off the morning before? Because we do that, I'm certain that it takes my assistant far less time to plan a shooting day like that, because we have documented it and it's really easy. On top of that, if she were to be sick or on a vacation and someone has to take over from her, there's a documented process that we can use and we can arrange for a shooting day. But the same might go for things like that I used to do a lot. For example, creating a new lead magnet or creating a new lead page. I used to think like, yeah, but I can just figure it out because I know all of these things. And it's actually because I had to start explaining it to my systems person and really documenting everything for my students that I started realizing that it was really important to write everything down, and that also made my job way easier. So document your processes, both for your marketing, because it's nice to show people what you're up to, but also just internally when you're going to start growing, but also for your own peace of mind. It is very nice when you're like, oh, I need to do these things. These are the steps, and you can just like click, 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 done, 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 and you're ready, right? That was my second tip. I'm just writing the numbers because whenever I make a list like this, I will always mess up the order of which I'm talking about things. By the way, I know the principles are really interesting, and of course you can read the article, but I definitely recommend you go and grab the Business Bible because I put a lot of time and work into it, and it will really give you, like, I think it's 29 principles that will change your life and career. Okay, third up, and I don't want to be harsh, but it's my podcast, so I can do whatever I want. You gotta pay your dues. I see so many people who think because they read one business book, they read the 4-Hour Work Week, they think like, oh, well, now I'll become an overnight success. And they forget that they need to pay their dues. You're gonna have to put in the work. I'm all about working smarter instead of harder. By the way, that's next up on my list. But you gotta pay your dues. You gotta put in the work. I was talking to someone this morning about being on video, and she was like, oh my God, it's so awkward being on video. And it kind of launched me back in time. And I remember my first videos, I recorded my first videos either at 6 a.m. or 11 p.m. before or after my work as a personal trainer back then. And I created my first video course, online course for my clients, but I didn't know how to automate stuff. So I would have this Excel with all of my clients, and every night I would be sending out the video in the series that they needed. Also, going live didn't exist back then. I had an iPhone. I mean, it's not 20 years ago. Not that either. I'm thinking like 5 years ago, maybe. I didn't know how to edit, so I was basically recording all of these videos in photo booth, and it had to be a one shot, and that had to be good. And I'm sure, like, I'm gonna pull them back up, but I'm sure they were fine. And I know my family was super impressed with the videos, and they're very critical about videos, but I put in that work, and then I made more videos and more videos, and then you go live. And I think by now I've probably logged, I'll look at my camera friend, probably logged thousands of hours of video. Is that possible? Hundreds, thousands? I'm still not perfect at it. See me touching my face and messing up my makeup. But you gotta pay your dues. You cannot expect to turn your business into a success overnight. That your idea will generate hundreds of clients overnight. Overnight success doesn't exist. And I hate to break to you, even with coaching from the best, namely me, aka the Fast Forward Academy with my amazing team, you will still have to work. And sure, the next principle is work smarter instead of harder, but you also gotta work hard. You gotta pay your dues. My dad used to tell me, and I know it's a cheesy quote, but the only place success comes before work is in the dictionary. It's so true. Okay, which brings me to work smarter instead of harder. I think there's a different quote where they say billionaires don't work a million times harder than other people, yet they make a million times more or something. I'm not sure if those numbers are right, because although I'm great at math, I'm not great at math when I'm on camera. But if you are running yourself into the ground and you are just walking into a wall, and you're burning up your candle. I don't know if any of those quotes were correct, but it's time to work smarter. So that means, for example, documenting those processes, repurposing your content, all of that stuff. But you gotta start working smarter instead of harder. If you are running into yourself saying, I just gotta work harder, it's kind of like, I just need to try harder when you're dieting. If you've said that a bunch of times, after you've said it 3 times, it's not gonna happen. So I like to compare this to when you've said 3 days in a row, I'm gonna wake up at 6 a.m. and I'm gonna work out really hard before 7 a.m. and then I'll have the most amazing day. And you've planned that in for 3 days in a row and you failed 3 times. It means you need to change the plan. Don't change the goal, but change the plan. So that means working smarter instead of harder. I can give you a bunch of tips. Obviously, my entire podcast is about that, all of my courses. But what I did, and I can highly recommend, is get a coach. Get into a business coaching program, learn about time management, stop thinking you need to do everything yourself. And of course, my Business Freedom Elevator is amazing for that. Shout out to my Business Freedom Elevator. You can always get on the waitlist or check out if we're opening for you through fastforwardamy.com/elevator. We always have like limited spots and lots going on, so definitely go and look at that. Start working smarter. You can't keep saying, I just gotta work harder, because it's like, I just need to try harder with my diets. Unfortunately, that doesn't work. And there are only 24 hours in a day. And you think you know what you need to do, but probably you don't. This is turning into a really rude episode. I should have brought a rude mug to this episode. Okay, so what's next? Action is power. I'm gonna say this with a smile so I seem less rude. Action is power. I say this because a lot of people say knowledge is power. I don't believe that. I think knowledge is important because we just talked about that. But I truly, truly believe action is power. You learn by doing. I learned much more from all of the uncomfortable phone calls, coaching calls from my clients than I ever learned in school. And I went to university for 5 years. I will tell you, my clients have taught me more than my school ever did. I have a master's degree in business. So that says a lot. I think you learn by doing, and you also learn by failing. I like to tell my clients you need to fail at least once a day. I definitely do that. I'm not the hero in this, but I think just learning that it's never going to be perfect and that you're always going to keep evolving is something we do in our business elevator life cycle, by the way, which I teach in my elevator program. It's like 7 steps that you always go through with a new project, process, idea. And you go through the decisions again and again when you are doing them, and then you can optimize. But knowledge is not power. There are so many people who will read books and watch videos and listen to podcasts, and they will never do anything with it. So I would love for you to shut me up now and just turn off this podcast recording and to go do something. Hit post, publish the article, record the video, go live, call up the clients, start that collab, do the thing, okay? And do it consistently. I didn't add that to the list today. Next up is getting your zone of genius. If you have been working on your career, your business, whatever, you might... So you start with a passion often. For me, it was coaching. Used to be self-development. Now it's still self-development, but business and self-development. Because I started as a fitness coach, and I struggled really hard transitioning to business coaching. Not because I couldn't do it, but because I didn't want to be that typical person going from fitness coaching to business coaching. But what I realized is I also studied business. I've been running my own businesses since I was 10 years old. I've been reading books about business and self-development since I was 12 years old. And what I realized afterward was I've always been a business coach. I was just doing fitness coaching for a while. And that taught me a lot about people, about their interactions, about coaching them. I have had thousands of hours of coaching under my belt, thousands of hours of one-on-one contact with people. So what happened is I transitioned, and you have this passion, right? You have a passion for coaching, or because you like making candles, or because you like making rude or nice mugs. And all of a sudden, there is so much extra stuff you need to do. You need to file for your taxes. You need to do your admin, customer service, the emails, the payments. Can you tell I especially hate admin? The social media, all of these things that might have nothing to do with you making candles or you coaching people. So when you are starting to feel like that, there's 2 suggestions I have for you. 1, make sure that you know yourself really well. Never stop educating yourself about yourself. So get a personality test done, get coached about who you are and what drives you, and learn all about your why and all of that stuff. Every time I do that, it helps me move forward. But secondly, and that's what I was saying here, is getting your zone of genius. For me, I don't know if you can tell, my zone of genius is, amongst others, being on video and just speaking. I love speaking and writing, and I love strategy. Those are the 3 things I love doing most. I hate admin. Like, yesterday I was in a meeting, and I think Laura was talking to me, and she started saying something about HR and about a hiring process, and I literally just tuned out. I'm just not interested. It's what they would call in personality tests really blue stuff. Now, you might be like that, or you might love the lists and the organization and the templates, and you might be like, I'm not creative whatsoever, I don't have any ideas. Okay, cool. Get in your zone of genius. Because the thing that you don't know is that your zone of genius can be complemented perfectly with someone else's zone of genius. So I have someone who works with me in the Fast Forward team, and she loves customer service. She loves the emails. She loves taking over my finances and really also writing me about the stuff I still need to do, admin ones that only I can do. And if I would ask her to write a creative text, she'd be like, no, I will plan in the email. I will maybe put the email into the layout that we always use, but writing it creatively, I'm not going to do that. She loves this stuff. I exactly don't love. Hiring her has given me the opportunity to get back in my own zone of genius. Now you might be thinking, Amy, you stupid girl, I don't have the money yet to hire those fantastic people. I got you. When I teach this in my coaching programs, we first talk about what you can automate and then we talk about outsourcing. But I gotta tell you, by documenting your processes, which is something we talked about earlier in this episode, and by then also implementing more systems, you will get a lot of this done and you will save up a lot of time. For example, an automatic invoicing system will allow you to not spend so much time on invoices, on reminding people, and on tracking payments, for example. And sure, that'll cost you like $10, $20 a month. I hope that your hourly rate is higher than that, and that means it will definitely save you over an hour a month. And it might feel scary to invest in those systems at first, but look at, for example, Shopify. I use Shopify, by the way. I have an affiliate link if you'd like to use it. You can go to fastforwardamy.com/Shopify and set a store up. I think I'll give you, because you get it through me, you'll get a longer trial period or something. And by the way, if you buy, I might receive a commission afterwards, because that's how affiliate links work. I'll make an episode about that later. But Shopify costs around $30 a month. And people are like, I don't know if I should buy the thing because, the $30. Again, how much time does this save you? It grinds my gears when I see people being like, hey, I made it this. I'm sorry, so many people are gonna hate me now, but they're like, hey, this is my web shop. I built an Instagram page and all of that. And if you want to know in which size you can buy this sweater, DM me. I'm literally never gonna do that. Like, it's never gonna happen. It goes against all of my sales principles. I'm like, no, is there a button? Can I put my PayPal in here? It's not gonna happen. So the time you're spending on those DMs and stuff, it's costing you sales, it's costing you great leads, and it is definitely, so in sales it's costing you more than $30, in time it's costing you more than $30. Just invest in a system. And also, if you don't want to invest $30 in a system like that, then I'm guessing you were planning to make like a total of $100 ever with this idea. I dare you to dream bigger. I hope your goal is to make 10K a month, 20K a month, 30K a month with what you're doing. So yeah, it's worth investing in the $30 system. That was another rude interruption. I'm not sorry. It's my show. So what I want to say is get in your zone of genius. Is it not customer service? Is it maybe making things beautiful? Then you might make your shop beautiful, but you won't be in your DMs the entire time. So for me, it is definitely creating. It is not being in meetings all day long. I don't like that. I love people. I'm a very social person. I grew up in a big family, but I don't like being in meetings the entire time because then I get unhappy. And it's not that I don't like the people I spend time with. I love connection. I love one-on-one connection with a few people. I don't like going to festivals, for example. But what I love is being in my zone of genius where I can create, I can talk about stuff. Whenever I'm recording modules for my Business Freedom Elevator, I'm super happy. When I'm coaching, I'm super happy. So get in that zone of genius. Identify what is dragging away your attention from it. Automate that, delegate it, whatever. Start with automating and documenting, and then afterwards you can start delegating, because when you free up more time for your zone of genius, you will get better at what you do. It will show, you'll start making more money, and you will gain the freedom to invest further. The first hire I ever did was a VA of 10 hours a week. We started at 8 hours a week, and there was, people advised me against it. There was no clear return on investment from hiring her, but I just felt like I'm not getting around to doing the things I want to do, like getting it out there, the lead magnets and stuff. I'm not getting around to white space and creativity because I'm spending time on the systems. And let me tell you, 8 to 10 hours a week frees up a lot of time, and often after a while, that person will also be getting faster, smarter, better at it because they're always doing just that, and you're doing different things. And I think a month after I hired her, I got the idea for the Business Freedom Mastermind, which then turned into my Business Freedom Elevator, which has made me over $1 million since. So I guess it was a really good choice to invest like €1,000 a month to free up space for myself. But a lot of people don't want to see that. So get in your zone of genius because you'll be a lot happier. It's not about the money, it's just you'll be a lot happier. And that's what we want to do here in the Fast Forward Amy team and the academy and everything we're building. We want to give you the tools and the knowledge you need to create a freedom-based life and business. And you will be happier if you can do what actually sets your soul on fire. My coach, Sarah, and friend, she always says, what makes your heart leap? I think this is something that will make your heart leap every day. If you can go back to working on that passion, that's why you started your business. By the way, episode 49 of the Fast Forward Amy Show is an episode about hiring if you want to know more about that, because you can start for a couple of €100 a month and you can take away the things that stress you out the most. How about that? Okay, cool. Leave your ego at the door. Another rude one. Fantastic. You can't let your ego run your business. There are a lot of people out there who feel like they're too good to get coaching. I have a coach, by the way. I pay my coach thousands of euros every month. She's younger than I am. And when I hired her, maybe I struggled a little bit with hiring her. By the way, you can listen to her in episode 48. And then I was like, am I gonna let that, I was like, well, if she's younger than me, then it means I'm worth less. But your worthiness has nothing to do with someone else's age or whatever. You can decide your worth. You can also always be worthy, and investing in someone else's program, learning from someone else, asking someone to help you, not knowing everything, it doesn't make you worth less. It makes you a smart business owner. If you want to run your business, leave your ego at the door because it won't serve you. It won't get you anywhere. Never feel too good to ask for help. Never feel too good to invest in someone in coaching. And I know a lot of my examples are about that. It's not because I want to get you into my programs. Obviously, I do because they're amazing. But it's because I truly believe in this, because it's doing that has helped me go from broke and unhappy to, I'm gonna say it's gonna sound weird, like rich and happy. Like I make a lot of money now and I have a lot of freedom because of it. And I can spend it on my family and friends, or I can keep it, or I can buy pretty candles, or get sponsored by clothes and then paid to keep them. Those are silly examples, but your ego will not serve you in business. So I want to ask you, never stop learning, never stop growing, never stop investing in yourself. Same with like branding decisions or any type of decision. Never let your ego decide what you do with a customer who isn't happy, what you do with a difficult situation. Never let your ego decide what you do. You are the boss, okay? You can't let your ego run your business because then you'll fail. So sometimes you can ask yourself, is this my ego or is this my core? Like, where am I doing this from? I think in December there was an episode about that too. Pretty sure about that. Next up is structure is sexy. It's very was that sexy, that wink? Yeah, I hope it was. I'm mostly amazed at myself for recording this all in one go because there's a lot of words stumbling out of my mouth. I'm actually also curious to see what time it is. Everything is not working. I pressed out of the screen. Structure is sexy. When you become self-employed, or maybe you work from home, you're like, yes, I have all of this freedom now. I can do what I want every day. Until you're like, what the fuck am I doing every day? Structure is sexy. You need routines. You need clear start and end moments of your day. You need to know, hey, what do I do when I wake up? Maybe you need to get dressed when you work. Create some structure into your life, into your work. Create systems, create places to document your processes. Structure is sexy and will bring you a booming business. If you don't have any structure, you're just going to keep running in circles and you're not going to benefit from it. So what you can do, for example, to bring in more structure is to batch the same things on the same days, like do calls on the same day, talk to clients on the same day, only open emails in the afternoon, start your day every day at 10. I normally have a rhythm that's 10 until 6. When we have recording days, we've decided we always just start at 8, and 8 means starting, so that means everyone must have arrived before that. Structure is sexy and it makes everything easier. Although you might not feel it in the beginning, I promise you. I also have a time management course, by the way. It's in the shop under mini courses. And talking about structure, it is really important to repeat what works. And that is my next significant success principle. Because a lot of people, this entire episode is just me judging people. I really try to be a less judgy person. I just don't want you to do these things. By the way, I've probably not done all of these things, so I'm just sharing with you the success principles me and my clients see a lot. But you want to repeat what works. So for example, you host your first webinar. It goes amazingly, but you got 30 people to sign up for the webinar. You got 15 people to attend and 2 people bought. And you're like, well, that went well, but now I have shiny object syndrome and let me do this new thing. No. You need to do the thing again and again and again and again and again. Once you have something that works, 30 people signed up, 15 people attended, 2 people bought, you have a conversion rate. You have a proven process that works. Do it again. Get more people. Optimize, like tweak so that people attend more, that percentage goes up. Remind them more. Make sure that more people buy on a webinar. Look at, hey, what made you buy? What made you not buy? Optimize that and keep repeating it again and again and again. And that's, for example, what I did with my program. I had my Business Freedom Mastermind. The first time I had 4 signups, then I had 9 signups, then I had 17 signups, then I had 30 signups. And then I created my Business Freedom Elevator and I had over 300 signups. That's times 10. And it's... some people just like creating chaos in their business. That's why they don't like repeating stuff like that. But once you find something that works, stick with it. You got 2 sales, amazing. Launch it again. Do it again. Talk to people again. Repeat what works. And that is how you build a strong, durable business. Okay? I have a couple more principles for you, but I'm not giving them away just yet because I promised you the business Bible and I truly think you're going to love it. I think you can print it out, put it on your desk, read it while you are sipping a glass of wine and looking at a candle. And you can go and grab it through fastforwardamy.com/business Bible. It contains my 29 fast forward success principles. I hope you'll love them. Also, I sidetracked a lot in this episode. So I'm certain it will be good for you. It just has the principles like 2 per page with a short explanation. And I'm certain they will save you a lot of time and headache. So thank you for listening. I hope you liked this episode despite me being rude, and you can always take a screenshot or a photo and tag me on your Instagram stories with @FastForwardAmy. I really appreciate that because I don't always look like this, and there was a lot of, or sound like this. There was a lot of time and effort and a lot of money that went into creating this free content. So if you want to give us a little support by sharing it, by coming to like it, by leaving us a review on iTunes, I would really appreciate that. Okay? Thank you for listening and have a happy day.